that divide us as human beings are far less important than the things that unite us as human beings. I think maybe it's high time we recognize that. So whether the modern Egyptians are ethnically connected in any close way to the ancient Egyptians is a matter that I regard as fundamentally unimportant. The modern Egyptians also honor and respect the Great Pyramids, and ancient Egyptian culture, and that's what matters to me.
I'm curious, piggyback on that, like, how do you feel about the criticism that you got some people saying you're racist after the Netflix documentary?
Well, that criticism was
because that's why we brought you on. We're like, we hope you're racist. We like
you kind of let me down with this whole everyone's equal talk.
That was interesting. What is the reason for, what was the possible, they had no justification for any of the others, but what was the reason for saying that I was spreading racism and white supremacy? It's because in a number of my earlier books, I reported indigenous myths and traditions, particularly from South America and from Mexico, which in some cases referred to a white-skinned, bearded stranger and his companions who came after a time of darkness, after a great cataclysm, bringing knowledge and teaching knowledge to the inhabitants of the country. Now, that is not me saying that. That is indigenous traditions. The view of archaeologists today is that many of those traditions were simply made up by the Spanish conquistadors. I don't think that's true. There are many other archaeologists who don't agree with that and think that they are true and genuine indigenous traditions and should be rightly reported as such. Whether we're referring to Quetzalcoatl in Mexico or to Viracocha in the Andes, these traditions, it's a pan-American myth, and they're not only found in the Americas but all over the world. They don't always refer to a person as white skinned. You know, the emphasis that's put on skin color today is really recent in human history. It's a few hundred years old. Did the issue of white skin or black skin carry the same resonance 12,000 years ago that it carries today? I somehow doubt it. I doubt it very much. I don't see why it should, because the abuses of human rights that were taken, that were carried out in the name of color, are recent developments. They're not ancient developments, you know, and therefore
recent in the scale of human history.
Recent in the scale of human history. Let's say the last 500 or 600 years, something like that. They weren't really there. They weren't really there before that. But it's a huge distraction from the major issue.